jurisdiction itself, right? Like it's an English common law-based jurisdiction, which means all the laws and regulations are in English and are very principle-based. So basically, I mean, like with certain exceptions, of course, like AIFC laws not cover, like let's say subso law is different, like it's not in Kazakhstan really that law, but like let's say the jurisdiction is gradually like broadening, and like basically we tend to think of AIFC law as a full alternative to an English law, right? Like an AIFC court, an alternative to London court, let's say UK law. And for like global investors, for foreign investors, basically having a legal, like let's say legal entity incorporated in the AIFC is equal to having a company incorporated in like Cayman Islands or like Jersey. So like I'm really like seeing this trend, and this is number one. So like it's an English common law jurisdiction. English law is the official working language, and so all your shareholder agreement, all your like put call options are in English. They're like if there's a dispute, you go to like the AIFC law has this like unique jurisdiction to do that dispute, and like as I said, it has 100% success enforcing those judgments. So like let's say you have like an English UK court judgment, right? Enforcing it in Kazakhstan, yeah, it's not impossible, but it will take time. I mean, like, just like, let's be frank, right, on this way. But like, having judgment from the AIFC court would be much, like, would be much faster, would be much less tedious in terms of what needs to be done. So, and the level of, the impartiality of judges is the same, right? Like, so, this is a very, like a proper proposition, I think. And I think, many sort of international firms are kind of like underestimating the AIFC law as a contracting law, right? So like we do have a special like separate AIFC contract regulation from rules. So it's a set of rules and regulations that basically regulate how two parties contract with each other, and like it allows to structure all types of deals. And actually, VC, like venture capital firms, tend to use it most apparently. Like a lot of, I'd say like 90% of all VC deals in Kazakhstan are structured through AIFC, using different types of, like convertible notes, like option agreements, etc. So like I encourage everyone to look at AIFC a bit broader, like than just like like as a listing value.
Absolutely. I would also encourage all companies to meet with the AIFC so that you know that you're aware of all of the things where they can help you and support you. Edward?
Thank you. Just maybe a clarification. My understanding is when you're active in different regions in Kazakhstan, you probably need also to open another structure in each region. So how does that work with AIFC? Is that just become a subsidiary of your entity at the AIFC, and then all the advantages will apply to?
Yeah, well, basically, you can set a holding structure and have your operating assets in mainland. That's a very common structure we see. But you can also have like your operating company registered incorporated in the AIFC and has all the licenses on its bond on that legal entity. So like no restrictions whatsoever. So like basically as a taxpayer, you would be registered in Astana in AIFC tax district, yeah, and you'd be like paying your taxes like in this district. And I guess like another point I forgot to mention is the tax breaks we apply. I guess like they're super generous. Like basically there is no withholding tax on dividends, on capital gain, a number of like basically there's an exemption for corporate income tax for financial companies. So in terms of tax, from the very outset, we designed AIFC to make it like tax neutral jurisdictions that would provide the same tax consequences as any other like basically foreign jurisdiction. Yeah. So like this is not limited to any particular location. You can have your company incorporated as an operating company company or holding company. I mean, the only exception would be the company would not be able to operate both in the AIFC and in any like special economic zone, which Kazakhstan has none of. Like, so it cannot be a resident of House Support, for instance, and AIFC, because these zones have no like extraterritoriality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Please.
Thank you. I have a question for Victor. Victor, you obviously, I mean, B2 Gold has been in Kazakhstan for only 2 years, you mentioned, but what kind of obstacles you have seen that, differentiates Kazakhstan versus, let's say, Namibia or West Africa, where you also operate? And obviously, everyone's talking about how great things are in Kazakhstan for junior mining and exploration, but in reality, there must be some kind of difficulties that we don't see. Thanks.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's not Kazakhstan, it's also us learning. That is, if things have gone a little slower than we would have liked, it has partially been our own fault as we've tried to understand the systems and work through them. I think we're at very early stage, which is basically applying for permits. I think the digital platform that is out there is a great idea, but it obviously has had some glitches as it's being implemented. I think these are being resolved and it can only get better. So I don't think there's anything here that you wouldn't see that's specific and would put one off in terms of doability. It's the bigger investment questions that need to be answered on an ongoing basis and for the long term.
Thanks.
Yes, the unified platform was introduced how many months ago? It's relatively new. Yeah, it's a very interesting attempt to modernize and make more efficient the whole approach. Any other questions?
If I may add, actually, it's transparent. I mean, it's blatantly or very obviously transparent, which is a major plus. We operate in jurisdictions where that has not been the case, and that's very difficult to operate within that environment. You get to your projects maybe in a much more difficult way. Here it's very transparent. Apply for it. It was open, and you get it.
Yeah. So who's next? Is that a question or? No.
Hello to everyone. My name is Aida. I'm Deputy Director for Strategic Development of Solid Core Company. Just to add up to what everyone was saying about advantages of AIFC. We are AIFC listed company. We did return to this jurisdiction from London Stock Exchange. And comparing to that, we are saying I fully do confirm what Timurlan was saying about the flexibility of AIFC, about apart from court, they also have arbitration that is much more, let's say, easier than than going through AIFC court. Also, there is no requirement to be to sit in Astana and create other ventures in other regions of Kazakhstan in order to do mining. We have companies listed in, registered in AIFC, and they are also doing mining in other regions of Kazakhstan, so there is no requirement to open a new office in any other city of Kazakhstan to do that. Just a question maybe to B2 Gold. What are the main things that Kazakhstan should not be mistaken in order to preserve you as an investor here in Kazakhstan, and what, I don't know, maybe more incentives could the country or the, I don't know, national companies, whoever, do in order to incentivize you to invest more and to stay in Kazakhstan and to promote Kazakhstan as a very nice place to do business.
I think carry on doing what has been started. I think that's the bottom line. I think don't regress, stick to the plan, and that will generate success, as I said earlier, and that will draw more people in. Specific to us, I think that we would like to move forward and be successful as quickly as we can in exploration to construct a project, because we're in it to build it. Basically, that's our motto. So anything that can be done to fast track that is certainly what we need. I think obviously getting access to prospective areas. We need to do more work ourselves to know the Kazakh companies that are operating in the region, and to see whether there are opportunities to joint venture and move forward on that as well. This is something that will be our next stage, I guess. And we'll watch companies like Astana. We're gold space primarily. We look at copper, but gold space. But I think that would be, as we get a level of comfort moving forward, we'd like to expand, pursue those opportunities as well.
Thank you for a very good question, and Mr. King, I have a follow-up question. So, again, building up what Mr. Alex has said, so they have evaluated about 150 projects in Kazakhstan when they entered. Would it be possible if you can comment on how many projects, of course you are working on developing your projects, but how many projects in general have you evaluated in Kazakhstan, and what were some of the things that deterred you? Maybe was it technical reserves, like I don't know, lower grade, low content, or strip ratio coefficient, or was it like some price expectations of the project or owners? And then finally, the third, what would be your ideal criteria for a project? Because I see many also project owners here in this room. If they would hear that actually they fit your profile, your criteria, maybe they would be happy to approach you here as well.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, we have not reviewed as many projects as Alex has. Our strategy has been first to understand the jurisdiction, and I guess the safest way is to see whether the systems work and apply for ground in our own right, and then build on it. So it's been a more steady approach. We haven't seen anything to date that stands out as an opportunity, and some of the reasons that you have already mentioned, expectations, the quality of the asset not meeting our thresholds. I mean, we're a 1 million ounce producer, so our minimum threshold, just to pick a number, which is not too far off, would be something that would deliver 200,000 ounces of gold per year to our project. So you're looking at 2 million ounces plus at a grade that works. So, it's that, and I'm sure there are opportunities out there like that. Maybe not there yet in terms of having defined the resources, and those are the ones we look for as well. Is look at the core asset. If it's there and we see exploration upside, it will be very interesting.
Please.
I have a quick question for you as well. Has there been anything in the sort of cultural front that you've had to learn in the last couple of years, or any comments in that respect that has helped you to understand and operate successfully here?
No, I don't think so. I think it's, you know, the English is certainly, with the people that we've dealt with, is widely understood. We have our director in country is Russian, so she, Natalia speaks very good Russian and is very familiar with the Central Asian region. Mike, our exploration manager for Asia, was in Uzbekistan for 5 years and traveled through the region. So I don't think there's been anything that I think culturally it's a fascinating place. Yeah, nothing culturally that you would find.
Thank you.
Victor, you said that when you were asked what mistakes do you hope Kazakhstan will avoid, or difficulties you hope they won't create for you, said you just want them to sort of stay the course and keep doing what they've been doing. Now that's exactly what the president of Kirsko said when he was at the Astana International Forum about a week ago. He said, just stay the course and keep moving along, don't get sidetracked, don't go backwards, just keep moving forward. I think it's clear that Kazakhstan has made some great steps. It's doing a good job on interesting investors. Now it's got to keep them. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, is B2Gold allowed to ask a question?
Absolutely.
So I just want to comment that I've been here for 2 days at this conference, and it's quite interesting that I've not heard a single word or comment about public attitudes towards the mining sector. And are they positive? Are there pockets of negativity? Are there non-governmental groups that lobby against the sector? I have no sense of that here. And also, do the Kazakh observers or people, I'm talking not the elites, people outside in the country, do they distinguish between a foreign investor in the mining sector and a state-owned investor or a Kazakh mining company? And would they default to have more sympathy and support for a Kazakh investor versus a B2Gold? That's not for B2Gold, of course, that question, but perhaps someone could comment.
Well, I'd just like to comment briefly and say that compared to the sentiment about mining in general that you'll get in many countries like, I would say, Canada, United States, other Western countries, there is not that same negative sentiment as a reflex here in Kazakhstan. So, as far as whether there's any sort of sentiment in favor of foreign investors versus domestic investors, I don't think there's really some sentiment that, oh, we want it all to be in the hands of domestic investors, because foreign investors presumably bring modern, progressive technology and management systems. I think that the attitude here is really quite open. Now, there are NGOs, especially out in Western Kazakhstan, who are very concerned and show that concern regarding the results of oil development out in the Ural region and the Caspian Sea. We all know the Caspian Sea is undergoing some very difficult times right now. But as far as mining, I would say that in general, people see that as something that's very prospective for Kazakhstan going forward, in general.
Thank you very much. Very, very good question, and Mr. Richard already gave his view. And of course, from Kazakh Invest side, as a citizen of Kazakhstan, I fully subscribe and support those views, what he said. First, on the mining, of course, Kazakhstan, maybe to the outside world, is more known as an oil country. But in fact, even so, mining is about 10-15% of our GDP. I would say we are a more mining country, and we have been doing mining or metallurgy for almost 200 years. And you know, our history and the mining is actually, especially in some region, is in the DNA of the population. And in Soviet times, of course, we've built some of the really huge world-class metallurgical plants and complexes. So I think in terms of expertise in mining, I'm happy to say that not only like we have a lot of people working in this sector in various parts of Kazakhstan, but actually we even export talent. A lot of mining engineers and now oil and gas engineers are also working in US, in Canada, in Australia, in Europe, in many other parts of the world, and they're very, very, from what I hear, very high quality talent that is very, very much welcome. So absolutely no negativity towards mining. It's part of our history, it's part of our economy, and we love it. Second, on the distinction between the local and foreign investor, I think there is definitely no negative distinction, but there is positives. There could be positive distinction. And as Mr. Richard has said, and also maybe because of our way of life, because of our nomadic heritage, of course our ancestors were nomads, we, compared to probably some other countries in the world or other regions, we are much more open to embrace or whatever we see is better or works better and apply in Kazakhstan. Whether it is equipment, whether it is service or technology, or being open to foreign partnerships. Again, being open, and Kazakhstan is open, it's in our DNA. That's why, compared to some other countries in our region, we have been open since day one of our independence and have attracted $420 billion of FDI in the last 30 years since 1991. This is a very mature, credible credit history, so to speak, that not many countries, especially in our region and other frontier regions, can say. So we have been consistent and true to what we said, and we have been doing business with all the big and small international companies and investors. In terms of investors, I think number one investor in Kazakhstan is actually the United States. In the last 30 years, we've attracted $62 billion of FDI from the US. If you look at it statistically, of course, number one is the Netherlands, but this is because of the BV holding structures. So including some US investments, Turkish, Asian, European investments, they were coming through the Netherlands. But if you exclude Netherlands, the US has been the number one investor, and of course you see the operations in the oil and gas of companies like Exxon and Chevron with huge multi-billion-dollar investments. And then again, when I say positive distinction, is that again, coming from our heritage, we aspire to learn more, we aspire to become more, and we are open to new things. That's why even I'm pretty sure that in the regions when you talk to people, whether it's east of Kazakhstan or Astana region or Karaganda region or south of Kazakhstan, I'm pretty sure all parents they're very happy that such great companies, world-class companies like yourselves, are entering not only our country but their specific regions, because they want their kids to learn from the best, to increase their expertise, to increase their skills in order to be competitive in future in the globalized world. So I'm pretty sure they are very happy that there will be such opportunities for their kids to really apply the world-class innovation in mining or any other sectors. So again, I would say it's a very, very positive distinction, and I hope that we all citizens of Kazakhstan would live up to your expectations. And again, I thank you all, again, on behalf of all of us and myself, for your belief in our country, for you being here, and for you help us develop our economy.
Nothing to add.
Anyone else?
So I have a common question, not for exact speaker. So you know that we had some protests in Kazakhstan 3 years ago So you know that the problems that solved such protests weren't solved. And so what do you think about such internal problem risks in mining industry? Because you know that we also had some protests in Kazakh missing phosphate companies.
Well, I think that's natural. Like, it's not only Kazakhstan, which, you know, can experience like protests in mines. Like, I guess it's pretty much common in Latin America as well, in Africa. And like the good and the positive thing is that this conflict somehow like managed to be. I mean, parties managed to find some common ground and settle the conflict. So like none of the conflicts have translated into something disruptive so far, like in Kazakhstan, in the for the 30 years of its independence. So I guess like we have to be positive on that.
Yeah. I think we're all aware of the emissions that happened in Usk-Kamennogorsk around in late December, and of course the tragic accidents that happened at Karmet and Timurtau. Those are issues that get addressed when they occur. They do draw a lot of public attention and protest, as they should, when those accidents happen.
Скажу на русском. Просто как коммент компании, которая занимается добычей в Казахстане. Уже не первый год, да, наша компания зашла в 2009 году еще и осуществляет добычу по сей день в различных регионах. Самое, вот в отношении протестов и так далее, да, каждый человек хочет, наверное, правильного отношения к себе. Если...
Maybe in English.
Okay, sorry.
Just one second for the translation.
Просто как комментарий на вопрос, заданный коллегами от компании, которая занимается добычей с 2009 года в Казахстане, и вполне успешно, на мой взгляд. Вполне естественно людям требовать отношения к себе достаточно уважительного, и каждый имеет право, да, на безопасные условия труда. Вот это social license to operate, на самом деле в Казахстане это, я бы не сказала, что это такая какая-то глобальная проблема, все на уровне такого обычных разумных требований. Да? Есть, самое главное для человека это промышленная безопасность, да? Его здоровье, охрана труда, экология. Да? Естественно, компании должны думать о том, как они ведут свою деятельность в регионах с точки зрения безопасности окружающей среды. Сейчас в законодательстве Казахстана в экологическое законодательство были внесены изменения по обязательному прохождению. На самом деле это и так была эта процедура, просто она немножко по-другому трансформировалась в общественные слушания. Да? То есть когда вы проходите свои проекты по добыче, обязательно есть этап прохождения общественных слушаний с местным населением, где люди, все, что их интересует, они могут спросить о вашем проекте. Мне кажется, это как раз-таки было в соответствии с западными стандартами, где тоже это обычное дело. Да? Мне кажется, для иностранных компаний это вполне понятная процедура, когда они рассказывают о своей деятельности всему населению, так называемым стейкхолдерам, да, которым будет важно, что будет происходить с их родным краем, да, с малой родиной. И вполне понятные требования, вполне понятные вопросы от населения, поэтому иностранным компаниям, местным компаниям, мне кажется, не нужно этого бояться. Если ты ведешь свою деятельность открыто, прозрачно, в корреляции с какими-то нормами, понятными по безопасности труда и по охране окружающей среды, да, все, вопросов больше нет. На самом деле казахстанское законодательство было очень сильно либерализовано, и сейчас проектные документы проходят только два вида согласования. Это промышленная безопасность и экологическая безопасность. Только два критерия, да, для успешной работы в промышленном секторе.
Thank you for that comment. Did you want to ask a question?
If I may.
Thank you. Hello everyone. I'm Anthony Chernik, New Markets Group. We have like 8 licenses in AIFC. My question would be regarding this legislation. Maybe one of the first questions from the potential investors outside the country, is regarding this tax legislation, tax governance, and Timberland has already mentioned that we have certain benefits. We're trying to attract investors with these benefits, and maybe how you see so far the tax governance, and especially is there maybe some frictions between common law jurisdiction of AIFC and general tax regime of Kazakhstan, which AIFC regulation has to be obliged also? Is this clear, or a question?
Yeah, it's like a question to me. So like, well, basically the tax regime of AIFC is, is governed by mainland Kazakhstan tax regime. So like there are certain exemptions out of that Kazakhstan tax code which apply with respect to AIFC incorporated companies. Other than that, and they're all in a separate law on AIFC, constitutional law on AIFC. Other than those exceptions, like mainland Kazakhstan tax code would apply. So if there are changes in tax code, which you all know is currently under review and is apparently would have some certain significant changes, then those changes would be enforced with respect to AIFC incorporated companies as well, if they apply to them. So like with the AIFC provides exemptions on dividend and capital gain tax for non-financial companies, and exemption for corporate income tax for regulated financial entities. There are some certain smaller exemptions and benefits with regards to VAT, etc., etc. But these are the major ones. And as of now, no changes or no attempts to introduce or deteriorate those tax exemptions were made. And so the law of the tax stability written in the AIFC constitutional law is still there.
Right now, mining companies are subject to what's called a mineral extraction tax. And the government has been talking for over a year about switching to a royalty tax, which, from my discussions with foreign investors, is much preferable to the mineral extraction tax, because the royalty tax only exacts taxation on what the company has actually sold, as opposed to the mineral extraction tax, which is based on a calculation of reserves in the geology committee. So the new tax code has been under preparation for almost a year now, and I think this year we're expecting it to be published after the government has finished its preparation. Obviously, switching to a royalty tax in mining is only part of reforming the overall tax code, but that's something that may be coming soon, switch to a royalty tax for mining companies. We have a question back there.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask this question. I'm from China. Have been working for CNTC. We are the point of CNTC in Russia. So I look in Moscow. Yesterday I fly to here, and my question is, my partner company is a middle-sized miner company in China. They are going to invest in Kazakhstan and buy copper miners. So do you think there will be a good opportunity, and do you have good suggestions for us? What can you share with us? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question and your interest. Of course, as Kazakh Invest and AIFC, our job is to give you clarity on what investment projects and opportunities are available in Kazakhstan. And we have almost more than 200 investment projects on our website. If you go to invest.gov.kz and you click on investment opportunities, you will be able to see all the investment teasers and project presentations. And it also it's for about $40 billion, out of which about 40 investment projects for about $9 billion in mining specifically. And there are about 4 or 5 copper projects. But we'll be happy to follow up and present and discuss it with you. In terms of but you have to, of course, take into account that there is significant interest in copper in particularly. So when I met in US with Freeport-McMoRan and Newmont, they of course they have a range of metals that they work on, but they said 3 things that interest them, and it's number 1 copper, number 2 copper, number 3 copper. So it's copper, 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 and we've seen just on Monday there were some analysts saying that the copper is projected to hit $20,000 price in the next few years. And we've seen also Mr. Robert Friedland saying why all this interest about the copper is basically put in very simply that the world, in order to sustain the economic growth that we have projected, we need in the next 20 years globally as humanity to mine the same amount of copper that we have mined over the last 1,000 years. So it's tremendous pressure on the supply side from the demand side on the copper. And of course, you might have read that some of the problems in some of the largest copper mines, so even Ivanhoe Mines mine in DRC, which is projected to be top 3 copper supplier to the world, they had some flooding issues and with water issues, and may probably have a much lower production than anticipated. So, and that of course will be reflected in the price of those assets, but we will be happy to share with you and connect you with all the investment project owners in Kazakhstan. But of course it would be up to you to conduct your due diligence and to do your negotiations, commercial negotiations.
Hello. Very quick question, not specific to the speaker. It's no secret that in the mining industry, we face misunderstanding between the technical side, technical departments, and the financial departments that are, especially in the last years with the introduction of IoT, different AI systems that technical department workers want to introduce, but they have a really long time a financial return, and we often especially being from the technical side, I want to hear from your financial investment side of view, how do you see Kazakhstan implementing those AI technologies or automated hauling technologies into the Kazakh mines, because we see right now that compared to the world-class mines, we are not at the very last, but we are still behind some of the large mines to be introducing those technologies.
Yeah, it's clearly AI and modern advances in processing and mining technologies are critical to remain competitive in the mining industry as a whole. I can only speak for our company, and we've certainly embraced wherever we can, and it's cost efficient, these technologies for sure, and they've always delivered returns. It's been very useful. From an exploration point of view, it's been remarkable, the achievements that have happened over a fairly short period using AI. It doesn't replace boots on the ground for sure. We still need the geologists out there, but to treat the large data sets that we deal with, to improve our prospectivity analysis is fundamental to what we do now. And I would encourage anybody in our space to embrace it.
Thank you, Mr. King, and thank you for your question. I'm very glad that here at AMM and in Kazakhstan in general, there is strong interest not only from the mining companies and exploration companies, but also out of the 18 companies from Canada, the business mission here, half of them were actually service providers and companies that are bringing world-class innovation into Kazakhstan. And there are like Synth AI and NSS Canada, PH7 Technologies, Maestro Digital Minds, Technica Mining, Mine Connect. All of these, they're actually here to help apply some of those AI and other innovative solutions to enhance the production, to decrease the costs. And I've been witness to several productive discussions with some of our large mining companies, but also smaller mining companies to apply some of those innovation. And of course, there are a lot of innovations in the AI space, and it's growing very rapidly. And of course, our dear friend from China, in China, I've read that already in some underground mines, they have a fleet of autonomous trucks working and doing the work and increasing productivity and efficiency tremendously. And again, in Kazakhstan, probably it's still early stage in adoption of AI and those innovative solutions. But our key is, as I said earlier, we are open to it. We're open to embracing it, and we're open to applying it. And hopefully in 3-5 years time at a different AMM Congress, we will see already some of the results of that productivity growth and efficiency growth.
Okay. Anyone else? You should use a microphone.
Thank you. What are the perspectives of investigation of sedimentary hosted copper deposits like Kazakh in Shusarsu Basin? Because we have, as you said, copper, and it's a very good idea to investigate and investments for the investments in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. I have two comments to. Yeah, I have two comments to reply on this. But first, I also wanted to mention that when you said discussions between technical and commercial teams, so for 6 years I worked for Statoil, and we bid on some exploration blocks globally, whether it was Mozambique, US, Russia, other parts of the world, and we had a saying, if only Statoil knew what Statoil knew. And this applies actually, it's universal to all industries, whether it's mining or oil and gas. We also had some misalignment between our departments, technical and commercial teams, because, and that reflected us losing one bid in Mozambique, where one department knew some critical information that was critical for the project, but did not share it in time, and therefore we've lost the bid. So this misalignment or herding the cats happens actually in all big companies and in all the different sectors. To your question with regards to applying AI and new technologies, just at the Astana International Forum on Thursday and Friday last week, again, Mr. Robert Friedland, he said that Ivanhoe Mines and other leading industry players, they're already applying this in better seismic interpretation. They're applying it in doing better exploration programs, and now with AI and new innovative solutions, like he said, that they are able, even in the Charasu deposit, they are able to see almost a few kilometers down, and they are able to see the shape. If there is like a Volkswagen Beetle that is buried underneath, they are able to see the exact shape of that car, and it would show. So again, that enhances the better interpretation of the seismic results. And in terms of the overall basin and the copper opportunities in Kazakhstan, I think historically we are as we know, we are underexplored country, and we still have almost 5,000 mineral deposits that are still underexplored. There is tremendous potential in that, and there is new opportunity with better technologies, with better data, to do those exploration work much more cost efficiently and find those pockets and deposits faster and better. And in that sense, I think it's a win-win. So we are experiencing a lot of interest and influx of exploration spending. So Ivanhoe committed almost $50 to $100 million to Palace Resources to do exactly that exploration work. IG Global committed $33 million to explore the Pribrizhny deposit in Kazakhstan, in Karaganda region. Also a copper project. It's they did a PEA in February. They say they have confirmed 4 million tons of copper. It's already a world-class deposit, but they believe they can double or triple it to 8 or 12 million tons of copper. So it's absolutely massive, world-class project. Of course, there are issues that the company is working on with regards to how to develop it better, but still, those are really world-class deposits that are being discovered right now, and there are many, many more to come.
All right, thank you all very much. I think it's been an interesting session. I hope you agree. And thank you for coming.